Back at it again. It's another edition of the ANC Combine Spotlight Show. It's your host, RIC, and a place to be, Rick Saratella. Tell it like it is when it comes to the NFL draft since 2002. It's what we do, along with David Turner, my co-host, the pro liaison for ANC. We're so happy to be working with him and bringing you the names you need to know at the ANC Combines. And before we get to our special guest, Alex Thomson, the big gunslinger, David, just give the people at home, the listening audience, a little sneak preview of our upcoming Combine workout event.
Yeah, we're very excited. We're going to be in St. Louis next Sunday. We'll be throwing our first event. We're going to have a great showing of NFL teams, and CFL teams are very interested in being there. So it'll be incredible to see them on the field for the first time evaluating players. It's going to be exciting. We'll have, I think we're going to be rounding out about 100, 125 kids. Opportunity, trying to get their opportunity and make their way in this world and this crazy world that we're in right now. So it's going to be very exciting.
Yeah, so June 7th, it kicks off in St. Louis. Make sure you go to anccombines.com. You could register now. Of course, NFL Draft Bible, the official video provider. And all we do is comb the country looking for talent. Today's guest, Alex Thomson, somebody that goes way back here from my neck of the woods. I'm here in the Jersey Shore. David's out in Arizona. Of course, Alex originally from Jersey, and he's going to be at the Atlanta Combine showcase. So let's welcome him into the show. He's been waiting patiently. Alex, how you doing today, man? And let's start off just with how tough it was. When the season ended, nobody could forecast what we were going to be in for during the draft season, and the pandemic obviously cutting a lot of pro days short, limiting opportunities. How has this process treated you? What have you done to been able to just kind of keep your head up, keep plowing through the situation?
Yeah, well, we were actually one of the last pro days to get in. Our pro day was March 11th. So I think maybe 2-3 days after that is when, this pandemic really started here in America. So, other than that, and then things getting shut down and stuff like that. So it's been hard to get, workouts in. I've been lifting in the garage and, trying to get to the field as much as possible with, guys from Marshall that stayed on campus. So, getting kicked out of fields and stuff like that has been a staple in the last month or so. But what happened, I think for me, something was really that took for me was not having rookie mini camps. I think that was my one real chance to showcase what I can do, and not being able to have that was hard. But no one knows what's going to happen next, so it's so I got to keep pushing and hope for the best.
Yeah, well, I'm excited, to get you down to Atlanta, to get, you in front of more people and be able to showcase that. So, I've studied your game now, it seems like, for several years, going back to your days at Wagner. So I'm very familiar with your game. But give the people at home, give the scouts that are tuned in watching right now, give them a little taste of what they should expect to see at your throwing session down there in Atlanta.
I think they'll see a different quarterback from when, I was coming off that shoulder injury. My confidence is back, and, I'm again knowing I can make every throw. And, people will think with my size that I can't move and stuff like that. And, I like to prove them wrong in that regard. If you go back to my days at Wagner, even at Marshall, I was able to make plays outside the pocket and even, run for first downs when it was necessary. So I think they're going to see a quarterback that, has really good fundamentals, and that's from my tutelage from Matt and Phil Sims back in Jersey. So I think they're going to see a lot that they're going to like.
When I studied your game and I started watching, one thing I was a little surprised on, because you're almost the same size as Ben Roethlisberger, but you're a big guy, and you move well for being such a big guy. And like you said, when the pocket collapses around you, you're able to make plays with your feet and get outside, and your eyes stay downfield to make plays with your arm, and you have the arm strength to launch it, which then coverages have to respect, and it opens up running lanes, and you definitely take advantage of those lanes for sure.
Yeah, it was a thing that I actually was trying to get better at Wagner, because my first year starting, I would like to run a lot more than I needed to. So that sophomore and junior year, I was getting really good at it and knowing when to run and when to keep your eyes downfield and, make the defense collapse on you and, dump it over to, receivers that were open.
Yeah, one of the things I was really impressed was your ability to buy time, extend plays, move around. I had you, I think, at 6'4.5" or 6'4" and change. You said you've been working out. I mean, what kind of weight do you think? What kind of weight you're going to measure in in Atlanta? Do you think, Alex?
I'll be like at my pro day, I was about 224. I think I'll be like around like 230. That's where I'm comfortable playing at. But then I would think I was like 6'5.5" or something like that measured at pro day. So I'll be around that 230 and 6'5".
Now you were essentially running the same offense as, the Kyle Shanahan offense with your guy, Richie Scangarello over there at Wagner. I mean, take us through that offensive scheme, your relationship with coach. Have you been in communication with him since you guys have both moved on? And, it seemed like you were having fun operating that scheme.
Yeah, I think, looking back on that now, that's probably, the best system for me. A lot of pre-snap looks and, we ran a lot of what we called cans, which we come to the line with 2 plays and we would see something in the defense and either go to the play that was called or the next play. So, that was definitely the best offense, the best success I've ever had, as a quarterback. And, me and Skang have a, great relationship. We talked a bunch, even when he was in Denver and now he's with Philly. So, I've been asking him for advice and things, help get my name out there more. He's been giving it to me. And then even Cal, who's with the Broncos now, who was the OC right after Skang left, he's been helpful too. So, those guys, were really played a big role in my development as a quarterback. And I always look to them for advice.
Yeah, you've had a lot of great minds around you throughout your career. And obviously you've been working with Phil Simms throughout the years, and that's a well-known thing. I mean, what kind of impact have the, Simms family have had on your career?
Yeah, they've done a lot for me. I started working with Phil because Matt started working with me later on, but Phil was first because Matt was still, I think at the time he was with the Falcons. So that started going into my redshirt junior year at Wagner. And that, it impacted me a lot. That's when I really developed. I know Phil always says this. I was a thrower before I got to him, and I became a quarterback. The couple sessions we went on for, and then we kept the same relationship. And every time I go back to New Jersey, I either if I'm there for a week, I'll get 3 sessions in with them. So, I gained a relationship with Matt now too because he's been around a little bit more and. Another guy I go to advice for all the time because he was an undrafted guy that made a name for himself in the league and, still is in the league. So he's a big influence on my life too.
When you think about family, friends, and experiences that you've had as a young person growing up, what are some characteristics that you say they brought to you and built inside you?
Well, yeah, I had 2 older brothers growing up. So, it was a lot of, and they're a lot bigger than me. So that's how it became kind of tough because they're both, one played D tackle in college and the other was offensive lineman in college. So, and then I think where I grew up also kind of made me tough because, a lot of people don't come out of where I came out of. I know Rich will know Keyboard High School is, used to be a very good football team, but kind of has tailed off and not has as many college athletes as they had in the past. So it was hard. I didn't get any scholarships out of high school. So I've been through a lot of adversity. I've been through a, major shoulder injury that, almost took a year and a half, 2 years to fully, get back to 100%. So I feel like I've been through the worst of things and I've had the best of things for me in terms of my college career. So, I think I've learned so much through this experience, the 6-year experience I've had in college. So, I think anything can be thrown at me and I'm able to, make the best out of a situation.
So guys like me that don't know where you come from, don't know your neighborhood, I'm not as worldly as Rick is. Can you describe, like you said, not a lot of people came out of there and stuff. Draw me a picture. Be a painter, an artist right now with your words.
Yeah.
Draw me a picture of where you come from.
Well, and so in New Jersey, it was a Group 1 school, so that's the lowest class of students at a school. We were a public school. I'll give you this: I played defense in high school. So
weren't you running the triple option over there? What's going on here? I got to talk to that coach.
Yeah, we ran the wing T in high school.
Nice.
So I was under center, 100% of the time.
What position did you play on defense?
I played outside linebacker.
Okay, there we go.
Defense, I'm telling you, defense was kind of fun in high school because I didn't have much to worry about. I just, I blitzed a lot, so that was kind of fun. But no one really comes out of that school. I mean, I went to camps and everything like that, and they said they wanted to see more on, my high school film and stuff like that. And the stuff we were running doesn't translate to college. So people didn't understand how well I would, be able to go from a wing T to a spread or whatever offense they wanted to run. So it was very difficult for me to get looks looks out of high school. And, even when I went to Wagner, I was a walk-on. They brought on about 5 quarterbacks in my class just because they like to just bring guys on, and whoever fits, whoever doesn't will transfer out. So, it was definitely tough coming out of where I came from. Having to walk on and stuff like that. But I guess it pushed me a lot more just because I wasn't heavily recruited, and I knew that I had to make a name for myself to have a chance to be a good college football player.
Would you call the social economic situation in your town where you come from, is it blue collar, or is it like dirt floor poor?
No,
is
blue
it
collar,
like middle class?
Middle class, yeah, middle class, blue collar, yeah.
So now let's talk about a little bit more about your injury. You said it's a major injury. I had a rotator cuff, this old guy here, and it took me a while to get back from it.
Yeah.
Like, I know it was tough, and I'm not a thrower like you. I'm not a quarterback. So let's talk about what the injury was, and then the surgery, and then take us through a little bit of the recovery and what you went through.
Yeah, so it was my redshirt junior year at Wagner, 2017 that was, and I got tackled on my shoulder. And I actually kept playing because we were in a 2-minute drill, and I didn't want to burn a timeout. So I ended up throwing 3 passes on this shoulder, but it was a grade like 4, like almost the highest. Grade 5 was the highest. It was a grade 4.8 AC separation. So at first before I went to I can't think of the doctor's name. Well, whatever. But first I went to the hospital, and I was like, you can sit out 4 weeks or you can get surgery. And then I went to the Giants team doctor. His name is passing me right now.
Dr. Rodeo?
No, he works at hospital for special surgery. I can't think of it now.
Warren, then.
Yeah, Dr. Warren. Yep. Dr. Warren. So when I saw him, and he's like, listen, this is like a 4.8. Like, you need to get surgery as soon as possible. So, I dealt with that, and he said it should be like a 9-month, 12-month recovery time period. And at that time, I knew I was going to have 2 years. So that's when I decided to transfer from Wagner, because I thought it would be better. I would be more of a prospect if I had 2 years instead of 1 to go to a different school. So I was transferring, and, I was throwing, and everything was going well. And about in maybe June, when I was here, I started having a lot of pain again. And I think it was, we tried everything. That whole camp going, my first camp at Marshall, I wasn't throwing because I couldn't. My shoulder was not allowing me to throw. So we tried everything. I was in rehab. When they were at practice, I was in rehab. When they were in meetings, I was in rehab. We were trying to get this thing right. And, it never really got to 100% that season. And, I just dealt with it. I dealt with the pain and tried to do the best I could in the situation I was in. And then I'd say my last spring ball was when I, realized that, it's probably back to 100%. And, I gained that confidence again that, you can make any throw that is, that may be asked of you.
Did you need a second? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, David.
I was going to say, was there any need for like a clean out surgery or any kind of follow-up surgery, or was it just the one surgery and then work through everything?
No, it was just one surgery, but they also did touch on my labrum, just because from being a thrower my whole life.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't my labrum wasn't torn. It was just frayed.
Yeah.
So he touched that up too, but no, it was just the one surgery.
I was just going to say, is there any residual effects lingering? I mean, do you feel weaker? Do you feel stronger? Sometimes guys have this surgery and they say, hey, my arm strength feels even stronger. How does it feel when you throw now?
Well, for the first year and a half, so that was in September of 2017, I would say not till January 19 was when I started feeling back to my normal self. But now it's completely fine. It's not like I have to, warm it up any more than I did previously. So it was just, it was hard to get, to come to grip with that it took that long, because, Dr. Warren, who was one of the best, surgeons in the New York City area, he felt like it was only going to take a year. And it just, I guess different people's bodies heal differently. So it was just hard to, try to play football or try to play my position with a shoulder that wasn't 100%. And it, kind of takes away your confidence and stuff like that. So it was hard, but, now it's completely fine.
He might not know his jersey geography, but he knows his jersey physicians.
I worked for the Giants for 2 years, so I know Dr. Warren and Rodeo both pretty well. So I wasn't sure which one did it, but I figured it was one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about academic-wise. You said you spent 6 years in school. Do you have your degree? Are you graduated? Do you have a master's degree? Do you have a PhD by now? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, so I got my undergrad from Wagner in finance, and then I got my MBA in finance here at Marshall. So
you're squared away.
So in 6 years, I was able to get 2 degrees. So
what was your GPA?
I think Wagner I was 3.5. I think I don't know, cum laude maybe. I forget how that works.
That's too fancy for me. It's Caesar degrees, so I don't know.
And Marshall is 3.6.
Nice.
Go
ahead, David. No, go ahead. Rack them up. You're good,
Get on a roll. I get on a roll.
I know you do. You get in the zone, man. It's good.
Hey, so when you talk about working with Coach Sims or Phil Sims and Matt and them and other coaches, quarterback coaches, what are some takeaways? What are some of your biggest takeaways that have helped you in your career as a quarterback that you've taken away from these coaches?
Yeah. So like I was saying before, when I got to Phil, he called me a thrower. He didn't call me a quarterback, because I've never been taught, up until that time, really, I've been never taught how to throw a football. So I always just, the first thing you pick up as a child is a baseball, and you'll throw everything like a baseball, and they're 2 completely different, throwing mechanics. So, the things I took away from it were just like little details that could change so much, with hips and everything, and, having your back foot underneath your shoulder and stuff like that when you hitch up, the way you grip the ball. I didn't grip the ball. Well, I don't know if I didn't grip the ball right, according to Phil, but I didn't think I did either. But we changed that. We changed where I hold it, and it was just many little things that contributed to me becoming a better quarterback. And then what I always take away from them, the experiences they have. I like to talk to them and pick whatever I can about them, especially when I started working with Matt. Pick his brain a little bit, because he actually was in the same offense before I went to Marshall. He was in the same offense as me with the Falcons with Kyle. So it was pretty cool that when we started training together, that we were talking, we had the same philosophy, we were saying the same things and stuff like that. So it was pretty cool to, work with someone that was doing it at the NFL level. Because at Wagner, it was a little more condensed, the playbook, just because from college to pros is a little different. So it's cool to hear how he did it, and take away things that he did on certain plays to help him out. So just the little things that you learn and pick up every new session with them, and you combine that, and it makes you what you are as a quarterback.
Go ahead, Ed. No, I think you covered it all, my man. I think we've covered all bases here. I think it's been a very good conversation. I guess, Alex, any parting shots, anything we didn't cover that you want to touch base on? Shout outs, thank yous, hit the people with something.
I'll say this. I'm very excited for the opportunity down in Atlanta. I think I'm going to, my job is to go down there and turn some heads and make people, realize that, I can still play at a high level. And, I'm just really excited about the opportunity.
Well, I'll wrap it up with a hot take, and I don't want to put too much added pressure on Alex, but he's from Jersey. He can take it. I've seen the database of players that we've had and some pretty cachet names there. But I'll tell you this, David. Alex is the most talented player that I've seen in the 500 or so players that registered. He's going to turn some heads. He's going to come out there. He's going to show off his arm strength. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward when you get back out here to the Jersey Shore. And, in the meantime, we'll catch you down in hot Atlanta. Alex, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you, guys.
Alex Thomson, Marshall quarterback, Via Wagner, and David Turner, longtime NFL scout, 2 decades of experience, and Rick Saratella. You've been watching another edition of the ANC Combine Spotlight.